Thank you for staying with us. The Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange wants to develop its trading platform and encourage more local investors to list on the exchange as a source of equity and debt financing. But there are challenges to this happening overnight. The chairman of the exchange, Clarke, told reporters on Monday education, culture change and bank competition are among some of the barriers they face. Here's our business reporter, Roger Dwarika, with tonight's weekly Inside Business.
While Monday was a red-letter day for JMMB relisting across the three major regional exchanges as a consolidated group of companies under one name, JMMB Group Limited, it also exposed something exchange chiefs have desired since the bourse began trading: the need for more local companies to join the trading platform, which would do three things: increase liquidity and confidence in the exchange and create competition in the local financial market. However, part of the problem, according to Chairman Clarke, is Trinidadians are risk-averse.
The composition of investments in the local market, I think it's fair to say that Trinidadians are generally risk-averse. And if you look at the money market funds, for instance, the income funds on the mutual fund side, and compare it, for instance, to the holdings in the equity funds, you'll see that a lot of people prefer to play it safe.
Stock exchange bosses are optimistic the upcoming Phoenix Park IPO will create the conditions needed to revitalize interest in the local stock market. However, the fiasco that emerged from the First Citizens IPO didn't exactly create confidence in the security of high-end dealing. Regardless, that still leaves the question of education and changing a traditional mindset. To paraphrase Mr. Clarke, how many local companies know they can go to the exchange to raise equity or debt financing instead of going to the bank?
Is the relatively easy access to debt financing. Again, and there are issues of corporate governance as well. I think it's easy to say, well, look, you should raise funds on the market and raise some equity. But for a business owner who's used to running his business as a private company, the steps to make that quantum leap to say, I have to share information on my business with members of the public, and I have to meet very strict time frames in terms of disclosure of financial information and financial reporting. It is not an easy step.
Equally so, to encourage investments in the local exchange, a junior bourse was proposed in 2011, which would have created a third tier on the Ttse'S, similar to the Jamaican exchange. But there's been little uptake since.
This to a stage where you have to facilitate the regular reporting, you have to facilitate regular notifications on trading and so on. When a business considers that, it kind of stops them for a little while.
On the regional level, the dream of a single stock exchange has been discussed for over 20 years at the CARICOM level. But barriers still exist, like streamlining regional regulations, again encouraging more companies to list on the bourses, and generally cutting through bureaucratic red tape.